Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Real G Football, the return of Real G Football and the return of football. I am kind of beside Stevie G. As you can tell, Stevie is isolating at his house, and I'm isolating at mine. SG, how you doing at this time, bro?
Hey, man, difficult circumstances, but, we're getting through it. We're living, and, we got some beautiful football. It's finally back, baby. I'm excited. Let's get into it, Jeffrey.
Hey, everyone. I hope you're enjoying this video. But please make sure to like and share it with your friends. And of course, subscribe to Lingo Sports. Now, back to the video. I'm excited too, SG. SG, right off the top, did you even have to guess? We should have put money on it, SG. We should have done it. We should have put money on it. We've been talking about this guy through this whole series, SG. Erling Haaland. First off the blocks, the first player to score to get football underway again. He is unstoppable. I wonder how many goals that guy would have scored if he had started for Dortmund in this season, man. This guy is the future. This guy is the future. He is the now. He's the present. He's going to be a legend in the game, SG. A 4-0 win, a dominant win over Schalke, Stevie.
4-0, Jeffrey. 4-0. Just coming out, coronavirus, let's get locked in our cribs for a while. But hey, as soon as we come back, let's just deal with Schalke real quick. And Erling Haaland, 10 goals. He has 10 goals in the Bundesliga now. Jeffrey, 10. There's top strikers out there. I don't want to call out my guy, Lacazette. I don't want to call him out here. But the man already has more Bundesliga goals than Lacazette has in the Prem this season. It's just... He's on levels, man. He's still a teenager. This is what the ridiculous thing is. And you know what? Another thing is, shout out to Thorgan Hazard, man. He played brilliantly in that match, a goal, an assist. And hey, man, he already has one more goal, one more assist than Eden Hazard has all season, baby. I read that stat earlier, and woo! Thorgan's the new Eden, Jeffrey. Thorgan's the new Eden.
They have a high-powered attack, SG, and they're going to need it in the next couple of weeks. They got Wolfsburg coming up this coming weekend, and then after that, guess what they got? Der Klassiker, one of the big deciders. Dortmund and Bayern honestly probably have the toughest schedules coming up. I'm pumped, Stevie. I am pumped.
Pumped too, man.
I'm ready to go, SG. Now, on to the next one. We've been talking about this whole season long, SG. It's the tightest title race we have seen in the Bundesliga. The tightest title race in the world of football right now. Of course, there was also Leipzig, who slipped up a little bit. They had a nasty draw. They couldn't afford that. They were right behind Dortmund. They're starting to slip up a little bit. And Gladbach coming up right behind them. They slapped Frankfurt around, a big 3-1 win, a big thumping from Frankfurt. They showed their dominance. They were whooping them. They almost could have scored 4 goals and probably shouldn't have even let that last goal in. That's how dominant they were, and they looked like a threat. You cannot count a single one of these teams out, SG.
Yeah, man. Borussia Mönchengladbach, man. Look at that. Not even a minute into play. Bang. Alisson player. A lot of people have been sleeping on that guy. That's one guy they've been sleeping on. He's a Frenchman. He's a striker, and you know what? He does the business, and he's doing the business for Mönchengladbach this season, man. Look at the table. Did you think Mönchengladbach would be where they are at the start of the season? Did you think that, Jeffrey? Because no chance I thought that. Maybe, Leverkusen's up there, but I thought for sure they'd be way ahead of Mönchengladbach. I thought Mönchengladbach was hitting like maybe a challenge for Europa League, but nothing more than that for them.
Well, they face Leverkusen coming up this week. That's another pivotal game for those two clubs, SG. And like you said, we were surprised at how good they were doing. Gladbach was on top of the table from week 7 to week 14, which is incredible, honestly. Like, I could not believe it when I saw that. We were shocked. But you know what? They've come out firing. They're ready to go again in the season. It's going to be interesting to see if some other things come up that might hurt them, though. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Leverkusen, though, this Monday, they got their win. They got their big 4-1 win. Kai Havertz right off the blocks. He was ready to go. He was ready to come at Werder Bremen, and he decided to just smack them up, let them know that he's still here. The youngest player to ever score 30 goals in the Bundesliga season. He has, been involved in over 30 goals now in the Bundesliga. It is incredible what he has done. I'm going to be shocked if he's still there at Leverkusen coming next year. I think Bayern or somebody's got to pick him up.
There's no way, Jeffrey. There's absolutely no way he stays at Leverkusen next season. There's been a point where Kai Havertz, he's been talked about all the time. He's linked here, linked there, and then kind of died down for a bit. I didn't really hear about Kai Havertz for a bit, but at the same time, Now he's back in the press saying, you know, he's leaving. Like, not he said he's leaving, but it's looking like he's leaving. Everybody's linked to him. You know, even Arsenal's linked to him. Manchester United, Chelsea, every team in England's linked to this guy. Bayern Munich. That's kind of the obvious step. You know, everybody who plays in the Bundesliga, if you're German, if you're really good, Bayern Munich is usually the next step for you. You know, that seems like the logical step for Kai Havertz. But you know what? I'm hoping he says, no, I want to go play some Arteta ball, baby. Let's come to Arsenal. Let's do it. And that would be the perfect signing, Jeffrey. Tell me that would be a perfect signing. Come on.
I think it would be a pretty perfect signing for you, SG, but I think you're going to have to compete with a lot of people that want that kid, man. He is unbelievable. He is so intelligent. He is so smart. You can see, man, he can play on the wing. He can play up top. He can play everywhere, man. He's too valuable for teams to pass up at this point. And I think, you know, he's going to be in for a big bidding war. It's going to be interesting to see, though, with the whole pandemic, how much money our teams are going to be willing to shell out together. Maybe he stays in Leverkusen for one more year. Let's hope for their case they do. But we're going to talk about the team that's most likely to take him, and that is, of course, Bayern Munich, who, to be honest, Stevie, I was not that impressed. You know, they still stay on top of the table, but unfortunately, they were facing Union Berlin, Stevie, and look at the other wins. Dortmund, 4-0. Gladbach, 3-1. Leverkusen, 4-1. Leipzig is the only one that's not as impressive. To me, though, going up against Union Berlin, come on. I know they're pretty good. They've been surprising a lot of people, but they were still, you know, in the Bundesliga 2 last season. And you beat them 2-0, and I don't think that scoreline defines it all. Yes, they dominated possession, but the quality was not there. It was not the Bayern Munich that we're used to seeing, SG.
I 100% agree with you, Jeff. The quality, it wasn't the same, but, you know, that's kind of what we should expect coming out of Corona season. You know, they're just hopping back into action right away. At the same time, you know, Bayern, like, were you ever scared Bayern was going to concede a goal or Bayern was going to lose that game at any point, you know? Maybe they were like, hey, let's ease back into it. We don't have to thump them. Let's get a win here, get the 3 points, take it easy, get back into it. I don't know if that's their thinking, but at the same time, it makes sense because they were comfortable all game. You know, there was a lot of boring points during that game where nothing was happening. Pass over and over again. But at the same time, I think, you know, Bayern took a strategic approach to this and said, let's just ease back into it. I don't know if that's what they're thinking, or maybe it's the rust. But I'm not really worried about Bayern at this moment. You know, they have way too much talent, especially end of season. Bayern always shows up end of season, Jeffrey. They always overtake end of season somehow, some way. So we might see it this year. We might just do that.
We might, SG, but they do have a few games, you know, like we said, Dortmund earlier. I believe they have Gladbach as well. Those are tough games, and those are going to be the ones that they're going to have to really, really compete, and they're going to have to hope and pray that they're in, you know, football shape by the time those games come around. And that's the thing that we don't really know. I think altogether, this whole season, you could argue, has an asterisk over it, right? There's no fans. You can't touch each other, tackle each other the same way. Your coaches have to have, you know, the masks over them. So yeah, the whole game isn't played the same way. It's different, right? And then even too, we haven't seen it yet, but a few players already contracted the coronavirus. What if someone, hopefully not, I really hope not, someone like Robert Lewandowski gets it? What is the league gonna think of it then when a big time player gets the disease and has to be taken away from his team? What are they going to say to that? That's not really fair to anybody, realistically. It's not a fair situation in general. But if some team had to deal with that, losing one of their top players and losing out on the title race or getting relegated, that's a big deal, SG.
I mean, I think they definitely thought of it, but at this point, I don't think they care, Jeffrey. I think they, one way or another, they had to get the Bundesliga back up. You know, there was a lot of rumors that they were going to go bankrupt if the season didn't continue, and that's the decision they made. They said, hey, let's try to save the league. That's the most important thing. You know, I think it's foolish because people's lives are at stake right now, you know? I understand people want to watch football. People want the money coming in, but take a pause, you know? Take a breather for a second, you know? Things are happening in the world that we can't control right now, you know? But at the same time, it's like, that's a decision. You know, Bundesliga returns. I'm not going to say I'm complaining, you know, because we're getting beautiful football. But at the same time, I still think it's foolish. I'm going to stick by that.
I think so too, SG. I really do. And, I hope that, you know, the players that don't want to play get their say. I don't think it's right to force them to play. I know, as you were saying, that there's bigger kind of powers that are sort of forcing them to. And we're going to talk about that actually now with the Premier League. They're starting training. And I just saw today that this was this morning, they had over 1,000 cases of coronavirus just today alone, SG. So for them to bring it back, for Spain, Italy, for all these places to bring back, even Germany has seen a spike. Even Germany has seen a spike in coronavirus cases. And now all these tests are having to go to these players. And I feel like there's no way that they could even feel right about it themselves. But I think the ultimate thing is like you were saying, you know, clubs are in danger. There's money involved. There's money with a big broadcaster in Sky Sports in the UK. And there's talk about, you know, if they don't get back started again, the Premier League is going to get sued. And so that's why they're being forced to do this. And I don't think it's right. I think at this time, at this moment in time, look, I'm sorry, the people with the most dollars, but you're going to have to make the most sacrifices in this cases. And realistically, no one's making money right now. So I don't understand it, SG. What are your thoughts?
I don't understand it either, Jeffrey. It's like when does this ever happen? Like, when has this ever happened? The situation we're in right now, like, you got to understand it. What do you mean you're rushing to get back? We don't know what effects this is going to bring in the long term. You know, we all just rush back to work, and then what? It happens again, exactly what we just went through, except we have to do it again, all over again. For what reason? You know, just stay home, get it over with. I don't care if you're losing money right now. Who's not losing money right now? There's not a single person out there who's making money. Okay, maybe there are people making money, but at the same time, it's like...
But they're necessary. They're people that are necessary. That are
necessary. Like, if you're not necessary, stay home, man. You know, the world is crumbling. Why do we always have to think about money first? Money first over health? Are you serious?
I agree, SG, and it disappoints me. And the worst thing is that, like, you know, maybe the Bundesliga in like a couple of weeks, just as the Premier League, the Serie A, Liga, La Liga, they're all starting to get started again. And then Germany says, you know what? Too many coronavirus cases, shut her down. And then they're going to have to all do the same thing again. I get it. I understand why you all want to do this, but we don't understand the disease. We don't know what's going on. If we don't understand, it's probably safer to just play it safe, stay home, stay safe, make sure we all just get it over with. Let's get it over with. Like, you know, it's just one of those things in life. Like, we've all been through it at certain points. It's obviously more serious, but just get it over with. Be disciplined, stay focused, and get it over with. And we'll try and get this together, just like we're doing here, SG, just like we're doing right here.
Yes, sir, man. I'm enjoying it, man. You know, we get to talk footy, we get to watch footy, we get to breathe fresh, beautiful air. You know, we're safe. We're staying safe in our cribs. So, you know, it's just beautiful, man. Let's enjoy life. Let's take the best out of each moment. You know.
Absolutely, SG. Now, as for our last part of the show, everybody knows it. Waste Man, Real G of the Week. First off, let's just start it off right away. Waste Man of the Week. You know who it is, SG. The coronavirus, COVID-19. That will be the Waste Man of the Week every week until this pandemic is over, until football and life can resume as normal, as we're used to it. The coronavirus, COVID-19, you are our Waste Man until the end of time. Honestly, realistically, you're the Waste Man of all time. Now for the Real G, of course, the people fighting hardest against it. That's our first responders, everybody, nurses, doctors everywhere. We have to thank you so much for keeping all of us safe, trying to get us back together. You know, these people are working around the clock and not with all the resources that could help them make their job and their lives a little bit easier. They're staying away from their families while everybody's just bored at home. Well, you know, there's a lot more going on right now, SG, and I think that's what everybody should keep in perspective. But SG, that is all the time we have for this week. Thanks so much for taking the time. We have to entertain the fans. We got to bring it back. We're bringing back Real G football, guys. Until at least the Bundesliga is over, you're getting us back. Hopefully, we're all going to hopefully, we're going to be back to normal a lot sooner. I mean, I'm so sick and tired of this. I want things to be normal. I want everybody to be safe. But SG, let's go. It's been
fun, man. It's been fun. You know, we had a great time. And Real G, man, we're back, baby. Real G football, baby. We out, man.
Happy to see you, bro. Let's go.
Yeah.
We out, baby.